Hey, my name's Russ. I'm a 24-year Air Force veteran, but I'm really longer than that, my whole life. My dad was a fighter pilot both in Korea and Vietnam. And always been creative, always been drawing and stuff like that. During my Air Force career, I dabbled in my creative life in photography and then watercolors. I had some private lessons when I was in Germany and did very well, enjoyed it. But my Air Force career was 24 years long. I retired as a first sergeant. Did a lot of different things over my life. Did a lot of, was in the dental course, so I did not only just dental assisting, but I worked in oral surgery, so worked in a lot of trauma, things like that. Saw a lot of pretty gruesome things, but also worked with forensics. I worked with the National Forensics Identification. When I got out of the Air Force, I was able to be a stay-at-home dad, which is very cool because my wife was in the Air Force. She got a chance to finish. And so when I got out of the service, there was a kind of a void that was left by the camaraderie that you get when you're in the military. And so my creative side kind of picked up with that. And about that same time, digital photography came out. And I really started enjoying it. I was in Germany with my wife and kids, and so my travel photography started to pick up pace and everything. But I always really wanted to kind of dig in deep and wanted to learn more about photography. So I went to the Art Institute about 3 years ago and got my BFA in photography. And it's just, photography and art has always been something that helped me kind of calm down. I'll throw on some jazz, or if I'm in a bad mood, I'll throw on some metal, do something to just settle myself down. It's a heritage. I mean, I picked it up from my dad. My dad did photography forever. But for me, the veterans that I've met that do a lot of creative work, I've seen them overcome the PTSD type issues that they have. A lot of us have seen a lot of things we probably no human should have to see. As a photographer, the best way I can explain what I do with photography and how it helps me, especially post-military, is what I had to do. When I did my final portfolio show for the Art Institute, I had to do an artist statement. And my artist statement is basically this: I want my photography to force you to see the image the way that I want you to see it. I want that imposition. And being able to be that forceful in a creative side, to me, is a freeing thing. I can put my personal imprint on my images. I did the same thing when I was painting, but photography is a lot freer. I can do a lot of different things. I tend to take photographs of things that are emotional to me. My dad used to take me to national parks, and I like to do a lot of aviation stuff. So when I go to those places, what I find is that I kind of pull myself out of that situation, and I can go out and capture those images. And then what I hope is the viewer sees the same thing. A lot of veterans that are in photography or that are artists at one level or another, and it's just the creativity of it is what really creates the passion. You know, some of these guys come back. I worked in the Veterans Hospital for a while here in Fort Worth, and you see a lot of folks that are they have their, what we call dead eyes. They just have a hard time dealing with society, getting back into society. And the creative side really helps them connect and show passion and get responses back that reinforces that their passion is valid, reinforces that their work is important and has teeth, you know. And so as I saw that and developed into what I was trying to do, my personal artist statement, for lack of a better word, is that I'm a big guy. I'm 6'7". My photos are big, so I don't want to ease you into it. I want it to be in your face. My photographs are large. My portraits are up close, and I do a lot of really interesting things. I try to make people think. I force you to think. I don't want you to just take it as, oh, this is a snapshot. I want you to look at it for its artistic value, to look at the composition. Yeah, I was blessed as a student at the Art Institute doing photography. We had a project. It was called an advanced lighting project. And I brought the idea to the instructor, and I said, why don't we go out to the Veteran Hospital and let's advertise and see if we can come up with about 20 veterans who have stories. And we'll tell them that our perspective is going to be about passion. They needed to talk to us about passion. And then we'll go out and we'll do portraiture of these veterans, and we'll give them prints of these portraits. I never knew this before I came into the Art Institute, but you know, the photographs that you take, they all have a story behind them. And I've got tons of photos, and I've never really thought about the story. But when I try to put myself in a box, try to take and force myself to do certain things. My father passed away 7 years ago, but I still love national parks, as I said earlier. And so I went to this park, and I talked to one of my instructors. He says, you need to really put yourself in a box. He said, only use one lens, the whole shoot, one lens. Put yourself on a tripod so you have to slow down, he said, and go out there and just shoot. The most important part of a photographer is the 12 inches behind the camera. And so I tried to be more thoughtful in my process on these images from Big Bend, and I think the images really show it. I think they show that I love what I'm doing, and that I love that national park setting. My aspirations are real simple. I want to teach, you know, but I want to teach in many different ways. I want to teach community. I want to be out there. So my business that I'm trying to set up is it's a business called Lux Inspirati Studios, and it's Latin for light inspired. So I'm really looking forward to working with the community and doing that. Continuing my shooting, I do some freelance work in the architectural photography side with one of my former instructors, who's now my employer. I just love it, and it's really helped me a lot as far as kind of tying together my military heritage and legacy to carry that on with photography and the creative side.